Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Third Row Posse. Back to the 90s. The year is 1993 and Raw has just started. So I'm Gavin, and with me as usual, say her name and she appears, the one and only Megan.
hey guys. Yes, thank you for tuning in for the last uh three episodes. Has it been? No, four. Well, this is the fourth episode of Third Row Posse. I've been having a blast going back to the past of different shows and movies and songs um that I used to listen to as a kid, and just sorting out the different songs, especially by the years. So I am excited to see what Gavin has chosen this week. Um, I still believe that at some point we will end up making a close choice together. If it's not the same band, um, then maybe an actual same choice. So yeah, let's get started. What topics do you want to start off with this week?
Let's start off with film.
Films. Okay. So I remember seeing this movie. Not when the movie had came out. I guess it was years later. But it's one of my favorite movies from this actor. There was a lot of movies based in LA around this time. So this is just one of those movies, but it's called Falling Down, starring Michael Douglas. Um, it just goes to show how one bad thing can like create avalanche of bad things happening, from being stuck, in traffic on a hot day and his car acting up to coming across a store clerk who had an attitude to getting involved with these gang members and stuff. Like it was just like constant, constant bad things happening to him. And it just goes to show like how people can have a breaking point. So that is definitely one of my favorite Michael Douglas movies, among others. But that's my first choice of movies from 1993.
Very good. So, my first choice of movies has two titles.
Okay.
So, in America, it was called Beyond the Law. Over in the UK, it was called Fixing the Shadow. Now,
Okay.
it's just changed to Beyond the Law over here in the UK now. So it's a Charlie Sheen movie. It stars Michael Madsen, and it's Charlie Sheen as a cop who gets sacked from being a cop and goes undercover after a deadly biker gang, and it's based on a true story,
Okay. Okay.
which is really really good.
I I may have came across that movie, but I don't know. I'm not too sure, but I will definitely check it out. Um, Really great about Charlie Sheen. I'm more of a Emilio Estevez fan, but I mean, I do like Charlie sometimes. When he's not, when he don't have dragon blood going through his veins and all that other craziness. Um, okay, so my second choice is more of a family movie. Um, I liked the first one, but I did enjoy the second one a lot more. Um, like I said, it's a family movie, and it's the Addams Family Values. Despite what people may say, I feel like Debbie was she was a villain, but I did enjoy her. She was a Black Widow. She tried to kill Uncle Fester. Unfortunately, Uncle Fester could not die. Um, and she thought he had a whole lot of money, which um I I don't know if Uncle Fester really had any money, so to speak. I don't
Don't
think
think so.
so. But yeah, that was definitely my my favorite of the Addams Family movies. On down to now having Wednesday, but it's a good family, wholesome cult movie.
Is that your two
That is mine
choices?
too. Yes.
Right, good, because I only have the one. So it did.
All right.
So let's go on then to TV. Have you got two choices or one?
I do have two.
I'll let you go ahead then. Tell us your two choices.
Okay. Well, I don't really have too much to say about this cartoon. I realized like early in life, this was not a cartoon for children. It had a little adult jokes in it, but it wasn't anything I could understand as a kid, but I do understand them now. And that is Nickelodeon's Rocko's Modern Life. Um, it's very much like Ren and Stimpy. Like there was just some cartoons that was. I feel like if you're watching the cartoons with your kids, they made it so that both the child and the adult can enjoy it. So, as a child, you heard the jokes, but you didn't understand it because your mind is just not mature enough to understand the jokes. But when you watch it back as a kid, if you watch it back as an adult, you think, wow, like that joke just went completely over my head. And it's like, yeah, it was supposed to because it wasn't for you. It was for your parents or your caretaker, whoever was watching you. But definitely that was a memorable cartoon for me.
And what's your second choice?
Um, man. So long story short, I lived a year and a half in South Carolina. So when I came back up to New York, we stayed with my grandmother, and there was a show I used to literally run home to see, and it always came on every day at 3:30 on Fox, and that was Mighty Morphin Power Ranger. And
Mm,
I used to watch it, in the living room, and my grandmother, she would come back from work, like I said, I went to a different school from where she worked, and she would make it in time to watch her soaps. So, we just had our programs that we had to watch after, spending a day away from home. So, yeah, those are my two choices for this week.
okay, so my TV choice has to be the only one cartoon of the 90s I love, Beavis and Butthead. You cannot
Yeah,
sit there and not laugh at Beavis and Butthead.
yeah.
Their wee jokes and all.
Uh, I think I learned a lot of bands watching them too. Bands that I've never heard of before. And when they would show different music videos, it would make you just you get familiar with them, especially if you're like watching MTV and VH1 and stuff. You will see those same music videos. So I do credit Beavis and Butthead along with wrestling and just other movies and stuff where I became familiar with different rock bands and stuff. So yeah, shout out to Beavis and Butthead, who should be like, well, they should be like in their 50s now, roughly. Like they're
Yeah,
old. They're old guys, But
don't mind me.
yeah, some old
Right then,
dudes.
let's quickly move on to albums. Have you got two choices or one?
I do have two choices.
I'll let you go ahead with your two choices then.
Okay, so my first choice, this is definitely one of those groups that I used to hear a lot on the radio, because they was like really popular in the hip hop world, and that is Midnight Marauders by A Tribe Called Quest. Um, Q-Tip. I mean, he was everything. Rest in peace, Fife Dog, who's been gone. Next year will be 10 years. Um, I remember hearing when he had passed. Um, just, like I said, just some songs, some albums, we don't know if there's a real time traveling machine, but some songs can definitely like set you back in time, just the sound quality, the topics of what they were rapping about at the time. It could definitely transcend time. So that's the first choice of this week. The second choice of this week, which is everything like the Sade album that I said last week. This song just had multiple hits, multiple hits, and that is the Janet album by Janet Jackson. Um, I mean, you had If, you had Again, um, Anytime, Any Place, uh, You Want This. I mean, like that album had so many hits, and I just wouldn't have done no justice if I didn't choose that album as my 1993 album. So, yeah, shout out to Janet and A Tribe Called Quest, which, I guess some people know that Janet and Q-Tip did date at one point. So, but
Oh.
that wasn't deliberate. That wasn't deliberate, but it just dawned to me as I was talking now, like, yeah, so them two did date for a little bit, but yeah.
Hmm. Okay, I only got one choice of album, and it's part of a trilogy, but it's the best one out of the three of them, and that is Bat Out of Hell 2 Back into Hell by the Mighty Meatloaf. And
Mm.
just heard it over the weekend again, and it's just cracker after cracker. So it is. It's a bit long, like, but it's well worth it to listen
Yeah,
to.
yeah, rest in peace to him too. A lot of great artists are no longer with us. Um, but yeah, he has a whole lineage of music and movies um that he left behind. So yeah, shout out to
Hmm.
Meatloaf as well.
Right, let's go into your singles collection then, because I've got to write these down for the Spotify playlist.
Yes.
So, what's your
So
two songs?
my first choice, well, I already mentioned his sister, so I have to mention him as well, and that is Give In to Me by Michael Jackson. There is this uh amazing guitar solo in the middle of the song by Slash, who, I mean, I feel like Slash is one of the best. People might argue about that, but I definitely think he should be at least a top five at the most. Um, and my second choice of this week, which I couldn't wait because uh, I used to play this song over and over and over again, growing up, and that is, I don't even know how to say the title of the song. It's the Crash Test Dummy song.
Oh,
Yes. That was also in the Dumb and Dumber movie. But yeah, I feel like if you don't know any of their other songs, you definitely know that song. You most certainly know that song. And
Well, that album is a classic, like, so it is.
yeah,
It's got God Shuffled His Feet and also Afternoons and Coffee Spoons.
yes, 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 yes. And that was like one of my favorite songs. I mean,
Hmm.
that song was, I don't know. I just really loved hearing that song. So definitely one of my favorites, and those are my two choices. Wasn't
Okay,
easy. Those are my two choices.
so my two choices are first one has to be Pearl Jam's Daughter from the Versus album. It's
Okay.
a like it's a song about a family who doesn't understand their daughter having special needs, and it's a real like acoustic number. It's really mellow and all stuff like that, which is just a great song. And then this is my song of the decade, so it is. I'm gonna just find it now. This is my song. So going back to the 90s, my parents would split up by this time, so they would. So I'd normally go and stay at my dad's house. So on Friday night, I'd stay at his house, watch like MTV and Sky, and then watch like the Raw highlights on the Saturday morning. But like on MTV on that Friday night, this song came on. It was Def Leppard's Two Steps Behind. Now it's a new song, so it was so I heard that, re-recorded it, played it over again about 5 times, and then in the shop in Woolworths on the Saturday afternoon, I went in, saw the single, bought it on CD single. I went, yep, that's my song, so it is, and that started me down the whole route of Def Leppard. So it did,
Mm,
and it's just such an amazing wee song.
okay. Yeah.
So it is.
And like I said, I mean, a lot of these songs, it does bring up certain memories, you
Mm-hmm.
know, certain times in our lives, So I do think that it's helpful to like
Yeah,
just listen to a lot of those songs, like make a playlist, which is what my Y2J playlist originally was. It was just songs that I used to listen to. Um, you know, when I started really getting into music, um, my mom, she can't, she lost count as much as I've lost count of how many Walkmans I went through. Because I would take the Walkman everywhere, and sometimes they'll fall, and once they fall, it would just be a wrap. Like it wouldn't play the same. And I actually still have one. I still have a Walkman right here. I still have
oh,
CDs that
CD
I listen
Walkman.
to. Yeah. Yeah, I had a cassette Walkman too, but as the years went on, I would just collect CDs, burn CDs, and yeah, them Walkmans would just I couldn't. I went through so many of them. But now we don't. I mean, it's nice that we have like apps like Apple Music and Amazon Music and Spotify and things like that. But when they say the sound quality sounds different if you're playing it on a record player or CD player and stuff, they really they're not lying. The sound quality is
Yeah,
certainly different. So yeah, yeah, I
right.
have my
So we were going to talk about your other podcast, but we're going to leave that till next week's one, so it'll be a bit
yes,
longer. So we
yes,
will, because you've got to run off, so you do. So we'll do all that next week,
yes.
and next week will
Uh,
be 94. So get your head into studying now,
I
so you do.
will definitely. I mean, real briefly, I guess we could like touch on wrestling. I'm trying to
Do you
remember
want to do your
exactly.
Megan minute then?
Yeah, I think we have a
Right, go
little bit of
ahead.
time for that. Uh, Ridge Hollins. I don't know what is going on with that guy. I am so tired of seeing his name on my timeline. Um, look, I'm not the richest person in the world, so I try not to judge other people's financial situations, but I feel like you had to have been living a little, foolishly to be in a position to where now you are in such dire need of money that your colleagues and other wrestlers had to donate money, which is good. I'm glad that they had the heart and the means to donate to you, but it does kind of scream that you weren't really um smart with your money. And uh it's just a lot of things that has come out about him. The fact that he came out and said that his contract wasn't being renewed, which kind of pissed WWE and TKO off, which led to his contract being severed a lot sooner, and then him screaming that he wouldn't be able to pay his mortgage, and then this GoFundMe was created, but then he said he didn't acknowledge the GoFundMe before it was created. It was a family member, and then he released a statement kind of leading people to believe that he was going to donate the funds, that he had stopped the GoFundMe, but then he recently said that he was not donating that money, but what he was going to do is when he starts working again, he was going to match up the amount that he raised in the GoFundMe and he was going to donate that. Also, WWE is going to pay for his neck fusion surgery, which he had announced on Busted Open Radio. So, I had to block him because I'm tired of seeing his stuff. Um, Best of luck to you, Rich, Luke, and I wish you well. I do feel like there's people that's far worse off than he is, but by the grace of God, after 40 days, our country is now out of its shutdown. Um, I don't know whether or not, I don't think the world will, the states will ever be the same after this 40-day shutdown. But I guess they started noticing that the economy was starting to look really bad. So they had to bite the bullet. So grateful for that. Um, Tegan Knox and her partner was accused of walking out on AEW's Collision, and they had to be replaced by oh Hyan. I think that's how you say her name. And Maya World. Shout out to Maya World. I had interviewed her for another podcast some months back. Um, I don't know if that is necessarily the story. She has since came out and said that's not what happened. I tried to interview Tegan Knox. I think she wanted to charge $200 an hour, and I never got back to her because I was like, I can't afford that. But best of luck to you, Tegan. Um, but I don't know the full story on that. But I don't know if a promotion is necessarily going to lie on you. I don't know. I don't know if AEW is going to lie on you.
Hmm.
So, um, there's some conflicting stories when it comes down to that. Lash Legend debuted on SmackDown this past Friday by choking out one half of the women's tag team champions, Alexa Bliss. So happy for Lash. She made it to the main roster before Trick, but I'm sure Trick will be on the main roster soon enough. He carried both TNA and NXT by being their double champions, so I'm more than certain that he will be on the main roster soon enough. Seems like Logan has joined forces with Paul Heyman. Couldn't be more disgusted. If they feel like Logan Paul is going to replace Seth Rollins, I just want to throw up because I can't stand that guy. So I was disgusted by that, but we will see where that goes. And yeah, but there was a lot of stuff that has come out, along with real briefly, West Side Gun. I know him as a rapper, but he has since started a wrestling promotion, Fourth Rope, and he came out and he talked about a time that he was escorted out of Raw, for no reason, as the beginning of a taping, and he said he really don't have much respect for WWE. Um, and I can't say I blame him. You know, front row seats, those are very expensive. And I have to say, he is one, if not the only real rapper that I feel that has tried to connect hip hop and wrestling together. So, for that to happen to him, being such a supporter of WWE and AEW. Yeah, I think WWE has some explaining to do, and I think they need to try to make amends with that because he does he's influential, and you really don't want somebody who sits in that position to be mad with you because that will cost you money. It might not cost you a lot, but it will cost you some money, and it definitely will cost you respect. So, um, yeah, that's pretty much all that I have for now. I think tonight is the last Raw for John Cena, so make sure y'all tune in for that. This will be his final Monday Night Raw um, appearance, and then um, next month at Saturday night's main event, and that will be pretty much it for John Cena, as a wrestler. So make sure y'all tune in to that tonight. And yes, that was more than a minute, but that's Megan's minute.
I don't cheat it to Megan's minute. Stand on her soapbox.
We got to, But as soon as um things allows me, I will be regenerating, if I may speak candidly, because there's a lot of things I do want to talk about, especially the legacy of John Cena, and just with him retiring, I think it kind of sets people to think about their own mortality and what they want to do with their lives, on a permanent basis, because it doesn't last forever. At some point we have to move on, and I think John is the perfect example of that. And now it's really starting to set in for me. So yes, once that comes about, you'll hear it here first.
Indeed, we will. And we're doing your special next week as well. Remember that?
Yes,
So we
it'll
are.
just
So,
be a brief introduction, but it will still be it's a personal passion project that will be um it will be, public, but I will speak more about it next week or Sunday.
yes, you will. So, until next week, folks, that's us. So, if you want to follow us on the internet, go to Third Row Posse on Instagram, on X, and you can find us on Podbeam and on YouTube. With all that being said, Megan, it's a goodbye.
Bye.